and have fucking fun with it. Lean into the fun and the joy of your business, because if you're not having fun now, you won't magically have more fun at 10K to 20K months. Who you become in that process is way more important, because that is the person who is going to sustain those 5-figure months. You're listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. I'm your host, Jill Perrick, a business and mindset coach who specializes in imposter syndrome. If you feel like you're not as smart, capable, or worthy as you actually are, and that someone is going to find you out, then you've come to the right place. I went from being a struggling government worker, working my coaching business on the side, but feeling unworthy and burnt out, to making multiple 6 figures helping women overcome imposter syndrome so they too can sign clients, make bank, and have the business or career of their dreams. I am nothing special. I have a stuttering disability, ADHD, and I struggle with anxiety and depression. So if I can learn how to feel good enough and overcome my inner imposter, then so can you. Let's dig in. Hello, my loves. Welcome back to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. I am so excited to have you here today, and we're going to have the best conversation of a 2-part series that I'm calling the 10K to 20K month series. So this series is for you if you are scaling from like 10K to 20K months and trying to find your footing along the way. I've been making consistent 5-figure months since 2020 with a couple income dips here and there, which are completely normal. And my next goal is a 30K cash month. So to kick things off, we're going to get started right away. And we're going to start talking about the need to release your attachment to the goal. So yes, I literally was just saying, here's my goal of 30K months. But the difference between that and how I used to set goals is I'm not super attached to the fact that it needs to happen in the month that I decide it's going to happen. I don't know if you guys have heard me tell the story or not, but when I was getting my neuro-linguistic programming certification, I declared that I was going to make 20K months, and I didn't actually hit it until September of 2021, like months and months later. But that wasn't a problem whatsoever, because I did hit the goal, and it's never even really been about the goal. It's about who I am becoming, and I am just so much more focused on who I'm becoming instead of just the goal itself that I'm trying to achieve. Because when you are growing your income to 10K to 20K months, you have to realize that you are going to be doing a lot of the same things that took you from 0 to 10K. But it's the frequency at which you are doing things. It is how you are showing up. It is the refinement of your language and how you're speaking to your soulmate clients. It is more about your identity and who you believe you are than it is about the actual strategy of it all. And a big piece of that is going to be your goals. It's going to be what goals you are setting for yourself, and if you are able to deal with it if a goal does not happen right away. A lot of the time, I have had clients who have set goals, and if they did not reach that goal within like a 30-day period, like I don't know what it is about 30 days and about it being like the beginning of the month or whatever, but all this does is set you up for a shitty fucking month. All this does is make you feel like if you don't hit it within a certain amount of time, or if you're not on track with the goal, then you're a failure, you're not good enough, you're doing something wrong. But you are building a business. You are growing a business. You are living out a full-ass career. And if you were somebody who was working in a corporate job, you would not expect to get to the highest level of your job within a couple of weeks, right? And that's actually the amazing thing about having an online business is you can create the results in a very short amount of time. But the caveat here is that you can't beat yourself up along the way, right? Like if you're not reaching those goals right away, you can't beat yourself up about it, because at the end of the day, you're your own boss, and your thoughts and your energy and how you show up and how you handle stress and how you take care of your mindset and how you show up for your clients and how you create your content, these things are everything. And that is what's going to determine your income. So if you set a goal and then you're disappointed because you didn't reach the goal, that disappointment could really fuck up your next month. That disappointment could really fuck up the results that you're trying to create. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't allow yourself to feel disappointment. I'm not saying that it doesn't suck when you set a goal for the end of the month and then you get to the end of that month and you didn't hit it. I'm just saying, feel the disappointment, and then move forward. See the disappointment as just another emotion that you need to move through, and start seeing your goals as things that are more long-term and that you are reaching them for a specific reason instead of just needing to hit it within a certain amount of time. If there is no desire attached to your goal, they're just numbers at the end of the day. And that's also another thing I wanted to say is start setting your goals with some fire behind them. Start setting your goals with passion behind them, because you will achieve them so much faster by doing this. And stop being attached to the outcome when it comes to your goals, which is so much easier said than done, I know. But if you are just in love with the process, in love with becoming the person that is achieving the goal versus just achieving the goal, you will hit that goal so much faster, and it's going to be so much sweeter too. And going off of that, I also want to talk about absolutely loving your business and being in love with the process. Because like I said, you won't be happier when you hit that number that you're trying to hit. So I hit my first 20K month in September of 2021, but what I didn't tell you is that even when I hit that number, I felt nothing. And I was like, oh, okay, like it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be, and I thought I would feel like a fucking badass bitch, CEO. I thought I would feel on top of the world, like I had no problems at all. And don't get me wrong, it was amazing that I hit 20K. Like, it felt really good and I was celebrating it, but then everything went back to normal the next morning, and that's when I realized it was just a number. And I attached meaning to whatever goal I set for myself. Because during that time, I actually was in a container where I wasn't super happy about being inside of it, and my own self-trust and self-confidence was slowly starting to go down. So during that time, I really wasn't having a great time in my business, and I realized then that it's never about the money. It's never about the money. It's never about the success that you think is going to come with the money, because it doesn't fucking matter if you're not enjoying what you're doing. It doesn't fucking matter if you're not totally attached to the reason and the purpose behind what you're doing. At the end of the day, it's just a number, and you get to assign meaning to that number. And again, I'm not saying don't create income goals. You absolutely can. But what I'm also saying is that if you want to make between 10 to 20K consistent months, it has to be more than the money. It has to be more than I just want to make this amount of money, because the money doesn't make you feel happier at the end of the day. You make yourself feel happier. You attaching meaning to your goals and purpose to your goals, that is what's going to be truly fulfilling. So I want to do a check-in here, and I want you to think about the fact that, are you doing month-to-month goals in your business, and what are your reasons for doing that? Are you feeling disappointed every month when you don't hit your sales goal or you don't hit your client goal, and is that affecting how you show up for the rest of the month if you haven't hit your goal halfway through? And then I also want you to check in with yourself and ask yourself if your income goals are truly fueled by what you want out of your life and your business. And I want you to get real with yourself. If you're truly doing this because you love it, do you love your business? Because if you're currently running your business in a way that you don't love, and you're trying to reach those 10 to 20K months, you will not love your business more when you hit that amount, doing it in a way that you don't love. You may even be preventing yourself subconsciously from hitting these goals because you know that how you're doing it is not sustainable for you. So it's so crucial that you check in constantly with, am I actually building a business with the kind of systems, with the kind of content, with the kind of quality of coaching or service that I would be happy with if I was making 10, 15, 20K a month? Hi guys, I'm just dropping in here to let you know how you can work with me this month. So I turned 32 on March 21st, and this year I decided to do something so fun and do a motherfucking birthday sale. Literally everything is 32% off. My courses, my bundles, the Fraud Squad Mastermind, Voxer coaching, and my private coaching, which is insane, right? So the sale runs from now until Friday, March 22nd, the day after my birthday at midnight. And now is the best fucking time for you to come into the Fraud Squad Mastermind if you're scaling to 10K months, or into private coaching if you are wanting to consistently create 10K to 20K months. These are my highest level spaces where you will step into your next income level and the identity that requires you to hit that next income level. We do everything at the next level in these spaces: mindset and identity, messaging, content, sales, and money, so you can hit your next 10K month, your next 15K month, your next 20K month, and learn how to do it consistently while growing into the woman and powerhouse you're meant to fucking be. So head to the show notes, and the link will take you to my birthday sale page where you can take your pick of my offers with 32% off up until Friday, March 22nd. Like I said, now is the best time for you to jump into my higher ticket offers, which are the Fraud Squad Mastermind and private coaching, or even Voxer coaching. I can't wait to work with you, and let's get back into the episode. I think even saying that I think you should love working in your business is kind of taboo, but only because I used to work with a coach who would often say that business should be very boring and it shouldn't be fun. And if you're trying to get fun or whatever out of your business, then you actually need to be doing that in your personal life. And while I don't necessarily disagree in some of these respects, I think that there are a lot of things that aren't always a great time in your business, like doing podcast scripts sometimes for myself isn't always super fun, or sometimes having to create TikToks or create freebies or whatever it is, right? Like emails. This stuff isn't always the greatest time of my fucking life, but that work is what allows me to do the work that I love in my business. And if I didn't love coaching, if I didn't love working with my clients, then I really wouldn't be doing this, because I didn't leave my job to work another job that I don't love. So if you don't love what you're doing, and I think that a lot of us who became entrepreneurs really do need that connection to our business, and I don't want you to shame yourself if you feel that way, but if you're not feeling lit up by the work that you're doing, that is evidence that you need to shift some things. I don't think business should always be super fucking boring, and I think it is totally okay for you to derive joy and fun from your work. And it's actually so interesting because now I would never invest in somebody who I didn't think loved what they did and was truly enjoying what they were doing and who was so excited to coach me. I also think a huge part of growing your business to 10 to 20K months is the ability to fully and completely fucking trust yourself. And this is not some little concept of, yeah, I trust myself to do a good job or whatever. Like, no, I mean, do you truly believe that you have your own back no matter what happens in your business? I've talked about this a lot on here, but when I was driving for Uber Eats because my income had gone down, that was such a turning point for me emotionally and mentally. That really was the catalyst for me believing that I had my own back no matter what, and no matter what happened in my business, I was going to be okay. And this is only done through a deep sense of self-trust, and it goes farther than that even. Self-trust is also built by doing the fucking things you say you're going to do. I want you to really ask yourself if you're doing the things you say you're going to do. Because one thing about me, if I plan to do something, I fucking do it. But a way that I didn't trust myself and evidence that I didn't trust myself was that I wasn't even planning on doing these things. Like for the longest time, I didn't go live, or I refused to be interviewed on podcasts or do any type of speaking gig because I was just so afraid to stutter online or to be put on the spot in those ways. So maybe you're doing things in your business, but you're not pushing the edge of that comfort zone where you feel a little bit too comfortable right now, or you're straight up just not keeping your word to yourself. But let's say you hired a virtual assistant in your business, okay? And every time she said she was going to do something, she had an excuse as to why she didn't do it. You'd be like, hey, sorry, we're running a freaking business here, girlfriend. You gotta go. And here's some tough love for you. You're running a business. My friend, it's not just an Instagram page. This is a legit business. If you want to make 10K to 20K a month, you have to move like a legitimate business owner. You have to be putting yourself out there, taking risks, betting on yourself, and leaping over and over again because you know you have your own back. You know that your success is dependent on you, not anyone else, not on the platforms you use, but you. And that means keeping your word to yourself. That means seeing your launches through, seeing your sales through, not giving into a shitty emotion whenever you have one, not letting your asshole brain tell you that no one is watching and that no one cares. Another turning point for me in my business was when I started seeing launches as no big fucking deal. My business does not depend on launches for income. It depends on me for income. I can make money at any point, and a launch is just a launch. There's always another one, and there's always another day to sell your offer. And when I released the need for my launches to be these big, huge things that meant all of these things about me and my business, that's when I started having a lot of fun with them and making way more money inside of them. The 10K to 20K a month version of me didn't get all fucking bent out of shape about a launch. She knows that people come and they buy regardless of what I'm launching and selling and when I'm doing it. Because truly, when we are talking 6-figure years, multiple 6-figure years, this is big money. This is money most of us have never seen before. And logically, mathematically, it doesn't always make sense. You can add up the numbers and you can figure out how exactly you could have a 10K or a 20K month. But the beautiful thing about entrepreneurship is you never know exactly how it's going to happen. There's all these ways that energetically align and it happens and you're like, holy shit, it happened. So detach from the how and become the person who detaches from the how. Focus on refining what you're already doing. Focus on the tiny, minute things in your limiting beliefs and in your identity that need paying attention to. And have fucking fun with it. Lean into the fun and the joy of your business, because if you're not having fun now, you won't magically have more fun at 10K to 20K months. Who you become in that process is way more important, because that is the person who is going to sustain those 5-figure months. It's one thing to hit a 5-figure month, and it's another thing to actually sustain it. So in part 2 next week, we'll talk about expanding your capacity to receive and hold more at that level. Okay? I love you. Head to the show notes for birthday sale things, and I'll see you next week. Thanks so much for listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. Head to the show notes to learn how you can work with me, where you can buy my best-selling book, You're Not Special, and how to get on my email list for free. Screenshot this episode and add it to your Instagram stories, tagging me at YourCoachJill. See you next time.